Hello again, everybody. Zack Attack is here with my WWE Raw review for the first time in 2018, New Year's Day, Rusev Day. Every day's Rusev Day, but it's New Year's Day, January 1st edition from Miami, Florida. Spoiler, no walk. But with tonight's Raw being the first one of the year, heading down the road to the Royal Rumble, and going up against two bowl games, of course, the two biggest ones of all in the college playoff, the exciting Rose Bowl with the double overtime, and the Cotton Bowl, which is still ongoing. Raw had a lot to compete with. And I think with that competition, I think Raw did okay today. Despite losing one of their scheduled title matches, we were supposed to have two title matches this evening. I did watch last week's Raw on Christmas Day. Didn't make a proper review. But I hope everyone had a happy and safe Christmas and New Year's Eve. And like I said, one of those two title matches that was scheduled never happened. I'll explain in a little bit. But we did have a champion action. Non-title. So, there you go with that. Plus, we had another champion make an appearance. Head towards his triple threat match for his title at the Royal Rumble. We had a little bit of a reunion that was too sweet. Hopefully it leads to something. Not just a one-off reunion. If they want to get some demon over with the fans, reunite him with guys who make fun of nerds a lot. So, okay, little war tonight for being New Year's. Well, crowd was kind of dead a little bit, but hey, what can you do? It's New Year's. So we begin Raw with Kurt Angle, the GM. Talking about, of course, a lot of big events happening for Raw and WWE. We are 3 weeks away from the Raw 25th anniversary. I'm guessing SmackDown stars will be on that as well as Raw stars from both the Manhattan Center, the home of the original Raw in 93, and Barclays Center in New York City. Hopefully no beach balls will be brought in. But then, of course, after that, it's the Royal Rumble. With two Rumbles. As we all know, there'll be not just the traditional men's Rumble, but we'll have a women's Rumble. There was a lot of speculation about how many women will be in the match. Because there's not enough women to suffice a 30-women match unless you bring some surprise appearances. Well, they are going to go with the traditional rules for the women's one as well. 30 women over the top rope, because usually some women's battle royals under the ropes elimination. But now you have to go over the top, not under. That's going to bring speculation about who could show up when it comes to surprise slots. People suspect about Trish Stratus, maybe Lita. Along the places she didn't get knee surgery, or neck, I think she has some sort of injury. Maybe some NXT people like the Iconic Duo, Peyton Royce and Billie Kay. Maybe Ember Moon may be involved. Who knows who will make surprise appearances, but there are a lot of suspicions. But as Angle was announcing that and getting ready for the Rumble in tonight's Raw, Sheamus and his own, not the Raw Tag Team Champions, came out. They lost in a match last week with Dean Ambrose out to up to 9 months. That's what they're saying. But they are bracing the worst by him missing Mania. Isn't it weird that for the last 3 Manias, we may have a Shield guy getting injured during the Road to Mania? You know, Seth almost missed Mania again last year. I think one guy got hurt like every year. Not just Mania time, but hurt it all. Yeah. Seth got hurt in 2015. So did Reigns. And then, like, Dean. So it was, like, kind of weird. But with that, they kind of forced Seth Rollins and Jason Jordan together. And they actually won the Raw Tag Team titles last week in a shocking twist. They were going to make Jordan turn heel, but now with Ambrose out, he's still a face, which the fans ain't liking, as he interrupted the ball, demanding their rematch, and not happy that Jordan was thrust in this match, being a daddy's boy. Thus, a daddy's boy chant was started by Miami. The only good thing Miami did tonight. So, Jordan came out saying, I earned my shot because of my track record. Yeah, why? Track record my ass. So, there's that. So, Ball was like, we're not going to get our title match tonight. How about we get an individual match? So, we got Cesaro against Jason Jordan. But Jordan had a little backup as his champion partner. Seth Rollins saying that, oh, Jason, you're a cocky little daddy's boy. But you're a part of a team now. You know, I know you were a member of a team before. And you're the first guy ever to be NXT, SmackDown, and Raw Tag Team Champions. Which, that fact is true, but Seth didn't say that. But I'm just putting it out there. So he was in his corner. That was the first proper match. Jordan against Cesaro. I was stunned by that last week. I know it was supposed to be Balor, but he's not there. Thank you for that. Anyway, this is a little match here. So it was like a good shot saying they're good, very grapplers, let's say that much. And Jordan looked pretty good in there with some big moves of his own, some big kicks. But we had a little bit of shenanigans on the outside that led towards the finish of the evening's opening match. So, really towards the ending of the match, Jason Jordan's so-called injured knee was targeted throughout the match by Cesaro, including putting it into a crab at one time. Not a full-on sharpshooter, but like a variation of it. As Jordan got to the rope, Sheamus was going to do some outside interference behind the ref's back, but Seth Rollins would thwart that by taking Sheamus down to the ground. But that interference, that distraction on the outside, should I say, didn't help Cesaro as he walked into a big finishing move from Jason Jordan and the 1-2-3 victory for Jason Jordan, getting his first major singles win at this whole angle thing. Like, he's like, oh, I've held my own against all these guys, but you haven't won anything. Until last week, he won a tag match for the tag titles, and now, boom, win a singles match. Where to live up for your tag partner? Jason trying to show no cockiness. He tried to put up Seth's hand, but only held like a second. So, is he turning heel? Or are they still going to delay it because of Dean's injury? But nevertheless, there is a little bit of interesting there to make this odd man team work. We saw what happened with Sheamus and Cesaro. They were an odd man team. They were forced to team together. They ended up being the most dominant team in WWE recently as the Bar. I don't think they're going to do that with these two, though. Even with Dean's injury, kind of affording a heel turn plan. So, there's that. On to our next affair, being Bray Wyatt coming out to wrestle Apollo Crews. We have not seen in a long time wrestle. Being accompanied by Titus O'Neil, of course, and Alexander York. Oh, sorry, Dana Brooke dressing up in her best Alexander York cosplay. Google it, kids, if you don't know who that is. But, York Foundation, WCW 91, that was a click. And Alexander York was the soon-to-be Terry Runnels. She kind of just like that. All she needed was a computer, like their gimmick was. Anywho, I like Apollo, but he needed more personality. And I always say that he was pushed too early to main roster. Should stay NXT a lot longer. Feel bad for Dana. I know they're trying to thrust into this thing, but you don't see him a lot, and the crowd was dead for this match. So Bray Wyatt did his all creepy thing, the spider walk and all that stuff, but Apollo did have a little hope spot in there. It was okay, a little matchup here. Some big moves, his agility. But at one point, as Apollo was down for the count, probably setting up for Sister Abigail, somehow Dana Brooke got on the apron, distracted Bray for a little bit. He was still in his little spider position, turned his head, scared the hell out of Dana Brooke, making her faint on top of Titus, and he almost got caught, and his plan was backfired because Apollo tried for his big move, for a spinning kick of some sort, but then got caught. Sister Abby, victory for Bray Wyatt. And Terry is interrupted by Woken Matt Hardy, who made his in-ring debut last week. Well, he didn't wrestle yet, but he made his first in-ring appearance. And I was happy they saved his first in-ring appearance for a crowd that actually would have gone nuts for it And they did. Chicago. Next to Rusev Day, Broken Gimmick is the second most over gimmick in the company. Although you couldn't count for the crowd as Matt appeared on screen with a little promo. Ready to delete Bray Wyatt. But it's kind of a one-note thing. Like, you've seen this kind of promo the last couple of weeks. Like, it's great to see Woken Matt, but we want to see what made Woken Matt not just emphasize on the laugh. That's what I'm gunning for. Like, the I do a good impression. Yeah! Yeah! And they had like a multiple things of it. We haven't seen like any of the broken things. Because I've said this before, I didn't watch TNA during the broken era. But I did see a little bit of internet. Yeah, like Vanguard 1 and King Maxwell. We haven't seen like Senior Benjamin, all them guys yet. All we seen is like the laugh. Yeah! If we see like multiple like little angles thing. A little bit of editing. With the multiple laughs. But it's still great to see that. Even though the crowd wasn't over it. Like, the cities. Where it's Miami. And it's after New Year's. At New Year's Eve, everyone's all partied out. And it was like, oh, that's going to wall. We have no energy because we partied the night before. That's why the crowd kind of felt sleepy a little bit. So, there he goes up. Wyatt Matt Hardy feud continues. It gets a little heated. Even though we didn't see him get physical in the ring tonight. There we go. Now on to our next affair. A match we thought we'd see later in the year. But it happened. Asuka against Alexa Bliss. Non-title. Stemming from a promo that happened last week with Asuka naming herself as one of the participants in the Women's Battle Royal Rumble. I said Battle Royal by accident. Thus far, in the women's, we have representing Raw, we have Asuka, Bayley, Absolution, including Paige, who, despite her scary injury this past week at a house show, was not on Raw tonight, besides in a segment, but she will probably be cleared in time. It wasn't as bad of an injury. It wasn't as severe an injury, but I'm probably going to lay on the sidelines a bit to make her sure she don't get hurt before the Rumble. SmackDown, old Naomi's in it. Becky Lynch, who they returned at a house show in Detroit last week. She'll be probably on TV soon. Miz returns on TV next week from their taping of the Marine 6. She'll probably be in it, along with the Wyatt Squad. And probably Tamina and Carmella, even though she's missed Money in the Bank. But Asuka declared herself a member of the Royal Rumble match last week, doing Alexa Bliss segment, and literally kicked her head off. Thus, this match was made. And Nia Jax and Alexa have a little friendship thing. Of course, Nia's got this thing with Enzo Amore. And Nia didn't have Alexa's back, and she had to go care for him because he was out with the flu. Explain a little bit more as we get towards our Cruiserweight segment. Now you know what 10 minutes got canceled. Anywho, this was not that bad of a match between Asuka and Bliss. Crowd was dead for this one. But it was a very hard-hitting match. Bliss looked good in there against the Empress of them all. Nails some big moves. Asuka had the hip attack. And I was like, as this match went on, I was like, how are they going to end this match? Obviously they can't have Asuka lose a non-title match and have the undefeated streak end. But hey, look what happened to Aleister Black last week in NXT. His undefeated streak ended in a fatal 4-way match. Being with interference from Adam Cole, baby, in the undisputed era. But still, it's going to be weird for his undefeated streak to end. So it's weird to see Asuka's undefeated streak to end in a DQ or pinfall. And plus, Bliss cannot get pinned. She's a champion. So I thought it would be like a smash finish. Like a DQ finish. But that wasn't the case. Despite Bliss' best efforts to beat up the Empress of them all, they said first time ever. I think it's first time in WWE. Main roster. I think they faced them in NXT before. So a little bit of correction. But then as Bliss was going for some other moves, she's getting caught. A couple submissions, including the fatal submission, the Asuka lock, and yes, Asuka made the Raw Women's Champion tap out. So Asuka's in the Rumble, but she'll probably get a title match no matter what. With more incentive because she beat up Alexa and made her tap in a non-title match. Good match. Crowd was dead for that, but hey, for what it was decent. You have good action in there. Bliss looked pretty good, but Asuka got the victory. I thought it'd be a smash, like I said. But hey. Speaking of the Royal Rumble, a man, of course, is involved in the triple threat match for the Universal Championship match was in action. It was supposed to be one-on-one with the Monster Among Man, Braun Strowman against the Man Beast, the War Machine, Wyatt. But then Heath Slater got in and referee let it go, made it a handicap match. The last couple weeks, I think referees been making matches. They're not allowed to make matches. GM is allowed to. So the referees have more power than we think. Can they make matches official? Can they add on? Can they make a match into a handicap match? Maybe they could give them Lieutenant GM powers. We'll see. But not much to explain. Braun destroyed them both. He gave nasty power slams to both Wyatt and Slater, delivering a big message to both Kane and Lesnar, who was in attendance this evening. And Kane even tried to tell Braun, hey, we can team up together to take out Brock. But Braun's like, I've been in the ring with the Beast before, back in No Mercy, in a disappointing matchup. But at least it's a triple threat match. That means no DQ. That means we're going to see some tables and more chaos than we did see in the one-on-one with Braun and Lesnar. The chaos we saw during the Fatal 4-Way at SummerSlam. So Brock is mine, and mine alone, Kane. I don't need your help, basically, is what Braun said. Okay. Now, on with our next match for the Intercontinental Championship. A match we thought we'd see in the Rumble. But it's Roman Reigns defending against Samoa Joe. A rematch from last week. Now I was like, wow, they're actually going to do this match now? That's what I thought last week. So the match was good, ended in a DQ after Reigns wouldn't break the count of 5. And he pushed the referee and got kayfabe fined $5,000. Thus, this rematch was made with the added stip that if Roman got DQ'd, he would lose the IC Championship. We've seen that stip before. Not just for the IC title. As quick as last year with Dean Ambrose's feud against Miz. But if he got DQ'd, he would lose the championship. We've seen the WWE Championship matches before that little stipulation. And this was a decent little matchup. Of course, the whole story throughout this match, there was 2 stories. Of course, the main story was Roman not getting DQ'd. There was like all these close calls about him not picking the count again. Almost got DQ'd a couple times. Another story was the arm of Roman was targeted throughout the match by joining a very physical matchup. Not as good as last week's, but still they've been wrestling each other a long time. Throughout the year last year at house shows and on walls. And it was still another great match between you guys. You know, even if it's an average match, it still is exciting, even though the crowd wasn't much. It's Miami. At least we're not in Corpus Christi. Anywho, despite Joe's best efforts to take advantage of the DQ stip, even at one point during the match, Joe and Roman were getting it on, and Roman got pushed by Joe into the referee. He didn't see that Joe did it, and we thought, DQ his ass! DQ him! But no referee didn't DQ him. He did not DQ him. I was like, he should have. I knew it was inadvertent. He got inadvertently pushed into the ref by Joe, but dang it, should have got DQ'd for that. He almost got DQ'd by using the steel steps as well as a weapon. Like I said, there's all these scenarios about Roman almost getting DQ'd. We almost saw a woman almost get choked out, as Joe did put the key to clutch in. But then we saw the Superman punch on the outside. By Roman as they brought on the outside, that's when he was almost using the steps. They brought it back in. And sadly, not only did Roman did not get DQ'd, Roman won by spearing Joe 1, 2, 3. So I thought Roman would lose tonight. I really thought they were going to give Joe the title, especially that stipulation to save Roman from getting pinned before the Rumble and save Joe from getting another Roman pin. Sadly, that stip never really played out into anything despite various teasings of a DQ. But Roman keeps the title. Are we going to get a match of Royal Rumble after all? We'll see. Anywho, on with our Cruiserweight segment of the evening, because it's been changed. It was supposed to be Cedric Alexander taking on Enzo Amore. This determining this little series of matches to crown a #1 contender for the Cruiserweight title has been plagued from the get-go. Of course, Rich Swann was supposed to be in this series of matches. He won an opportunity to face off in a match against Gulak a few weeks back to see who would face Enzo, probably on Christmas Day. But, as we know, Rich Swann got arrested and probably going to get fired because of his assault and battery on his girlfriend, Mia Yim. So, Cedric Alexander won a fatal 4-way match, and he faced off against Drew Gulak last week, or 2 weeks ago, and beat him. And the title match was set for tonight. We thought we'd get it last week on Christmas Day, but we're going to get that match on New Year's Day. But there's been a lot of injury bugs. And sick bugs. I talked about Paige getting hurt last week. Braun was sent home from the holiday tour because we know this, but as we saw, we did see Braun tonight and recovered. But Enzo got sick, or as many people on the internet speculated, he got too drunk last night during New Year's Eve and was in the hospital today. Despite a lot of dirt sheets reporting that the hospital trip was not serious, he was still taken off the card tonight and not able to defend his title against Cedric Alexander. Hopefully we get that match next week and we see Cedric beat Enzo, because Cedric needs a good opportunity. But you make lemons out of lemonade. Lemonade out of lemons. As we saw, 2 members of the Zoe train, Drew Gulak reading a note from Enzo in proper grammar saying, "How are you doing?" instead of "How you doing?" And a couple of haters instead of couple haters. I like Gulak, man. He should be pushed a lot. His PowerPoint is almost as over as Rusev Day, but it's not close. Rusev Day is the best-selling shirt. I wanted a Rusev shirt, but it wasn't part of the $15 shirt sale during Christmas week. Got this one. And the AJ Styles, the one who gets it done shirt as well. Late Christmas gifts from my dad. Anywho, as they were delivering the message, they being Duvall and Gulak, Cedric Alexander was disappointed. He was not able to face Enzo, but he still wanted to fight. So he wanted one of the Zoltrain members in the ring. But Duvall is like, okay, we'll accept your challenge. We want a tag match. I was like, play Mustafa Ali's music, because we've seen them team up so many times. They like to use the same cruiserweights over and over again on Raw, not people like Grand Metalik and Jared Gallagher. So they played Mustafa's music, but instead we had Goldust's music. Interesting. So Goldust ended up being Cedric Alexander's tag team partner in this match against his Zoltrain's best efforts in this okay little tag match. Goldust got in there and you still got a chance. He's always had it, assholes. Because we haven't seen him on TV in a bit. Apparently Goldust is face again after his heel turn late last year against R-Truth. That didn't go anywhere. Hey, new year, new you. New year, new me. So it's like, new year, I'm face again. Basically, with no explanation on why I'm a babyface again. Because I was myself, Dustin Rhodes. Even used my own WCW Natural theme at Starrcade. The event that should have aired on the network, but the two Porter air it live. That's why we have no Pyro now. Mr. Pyro. Anyway. So Goldust got in after Alexander got isolated by the Zoltrain early. Some big moves. But then a little double team on to Gulak to set up the finish with a little straight punch to the face, set up to the lumbar check and the victory for the babyface team. So very interesting to see Goldust be the tag partner for Cedric. Hopefully Cedric gets his title match soon. And probably gets it next week unless Enzo goes back to the hospital. Or any other scenario. But now on to our main event match before our main event segment. We had a little reunion of sorts of the Bullet Club. Trying to get Finn Balor over. And say, oh, Finn Balor's not over with the fans. That's why we can't let him face against Lesnar at Royal Rumble. We're going to put Kane in there for reasons. They want to make Balor over. Make this a full thing. Him and the club, Gallows and Anderson, teamed up in a 6-man tag tonight. I kind of balked out. I was like, yes, they need to be together at all times. Teamed up against my other favorite, Elias. I walk with Elias. Yes, I was disappointed he lost to John Cena. Bring out the shovel. Bring out the shovel. But it wasn't really a burial. Even though, yes, he did lose, he had a great interaction with Cena. I loved it. His interaction with Cena. And he got to beat up on him. He beat up John Cena. Just not in the match. But he teamed up with the Miz who had their share of battles with Finn the last few weeks. And Elias had a feud with Finn last year. And they announced that Miz would return next week. Probably see Becky on TV this week. I mentioned Becky was at a house show in Detroit. So we're going to see Mrs. on screen return next week. Probably get Becky's on screen this week. But they helped, they being the Mr. Watch, helped Elias again with the music instrumentation. But instead of harmonicas, they tried to sing All Lang Syne. Was it intentionally bad? Or they were like off beat. And then Elias saved it before it got interrupted. Decent little 6-man here. You know, just seeing Gallows and Anderson and Finn together in the same ring on the same side. Hope in the crowd reaction should have been better. If they would have done this in Chicago last week, being how wild and crazy they were from the Matt Hardy thing, they should have had this in Chicago. Chicago crowd would have been more crazy for this. In Florida crowd was kind of dead throughout the evening, and they were dead doing this. Would have been wildly more receptive in Chicago. So, despite that, Mr. Watts did isolate Finale, and Elias got some shots in. Before Gallows and Allison got the hot tag and laid out. Anderson laid out Bo with the Magic Killer, leading to Balor in the Coup de Gracie, Coup de Grace, and the victory for the Bullet Club. I'll say it, Bullet Club. The Balor Club. This is what we've been wanting for a long time. To see Balor put together the Balor Club with Gallows and Anderson. Hopefully, like I said, this is not just a one-off thing. This is a full-time thing. Gallows and Anderson have been wildly misused in the company for the last 2 years. And finally aligning themselves with Balor will helpfully save their WWE careers and save Balor's now that he's not going up for the Universal title probably anytime soon. Fuck you, Vince. Anyway, on with our main event segment involving the reigning, defending, undisputed Universal Champion Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar. This was better than the segment he was on 2 weeks ago when he opened the wall. It was like blink and miss appearance, but they decided to save him for the main event segment. Of course, Heyman delivered another classic Heyman promo. Hey, it's Paul Heyman. He's probably one of the best mic guys today besides The Miz. You know what I mean? And Miz won the Rolling Stone Wrestler of the Year. That's awesome. Awesome. You know, a lot of people are picking Miz as the Wrestler of the Year. Some people are picking AJ Styles and Kenny Omega. Cannot wait for Omega Jericho. Coming to see that match this week. It's going to be incredible. But as Heyman, of course, does what he does best. Sell buy rates for the network by talking about the fact that Brock doesn't have a challenger. He has challengers. He's up against the Monster among men and the Big Red Machine in Braun Strowman and Kane. So as Heyman was running down the odds being against the champion who does not need to get pinned in a triple threat match. Hey, you saw what happened when he was in a fatal 4-way. The odds were stacked against him, but he made out a fatal 4-way, shockingly, as champion. We thought this fatal 4-way at SummerSlam was going to be a way for him to lose the title without getting pinned. We think the same for this triple threat, but with WWE thinking they're going to have a Wayne's Lesnar 2 at Mania, that may not happen. Let Reigns not win the Rumble. It's in Philly this year, the same place that booed the fuck out of Reigns when he won it 3 years ago. They may not make the same mistake again as he moves what Cena winning the Rumble. Fuck that. Nakamura should win it. A new guy should win. Not Orton, not Cena, and definitely not fucking Reigns. They would have pushed for the future. Get a fucking full-timer over. Not a fucking part-timer like the last couple years. Anywho, so as he was running this down, talking about, despite the odds, Lesnar would take both Kane and Braun Strowman to Suplex City. So Kane came out. We didn't see any Braun Strowman appearance, but we saw Kane run down to the ring, stare down Lesnar, got into a little bit of a brawl, before Kane would chokeslam the Universal Champion. But then Lesnar took a page out of Kane's playbook and sat right back up and started smiling. That was a funny moment there. That got me laughing. Another part that got me a little laughing, I think it was a Joe reference. Of course, he mentioned about Renee Young being married to Dean Ambrose, kind of like first on-screen reference of that. But it was another thing that made me laugh. I think it was an Elias thing. But, and I just laughed when that happened. They brawled on the outside, and the superstars were breaking it up. They said, oh, Angle's on the ring. We didn't see him at all. The camera angles were kind of weird on that. But that's how we end Raw with a Kane Lesnar brawl to end Raw. Ain't no Strowman in sight. Proving his point that it was not going to help Kane against Lesnar. That he said earlier in the evening. So, there's that. So, like I said, decent little Raw. I got some building for the Rumble. With, you know, more men being announced. I think Balor's in it. The gals and Anderson are in it. Because Women's Rumble, Asuka's in it. And Bayley announced she's in it. Absolution's in it. Sasha's in it. So, there you go. Decent little Raw today for being the first Raw of the year. It's good action there in development for the Rumble. And hopefully we get that Cruiserweight title match next week and see Enzo lose. So, there's that. And that's it for my first video of the year, and more importantly, my first Raw review of the year. Thank you so much for watching. And a little bit of heads up. I am going to Raw in Detroit in March. Yay! This will be my fourth Raw. It's March 12th, right before Mania, a couple weeks before Mania, at the Little Caesars Arena. Went to Hell in a Cell there, back in October. I'm on the lower level this time for Raw in Detroit. And this year is my 10th anniversary of my very first Raw I went to. I know it took so long to finally go to a Raw, but it's my fourth Raw, my first Raw since the Shane McMahon returned 2 years ago. First one of the LCA. First time Raw's been in the LCA. Because SmackDown's been there for Hell in a Cell and a house show last week. That's when they announced Raw. One of my friends was at the show. So he got me a pre-sale code. And I got good lower level seats for $30. So got it. I may go to SmackDown in Phoenix. Because my dad's going on vacation. I may go with him. And go see SmackDown in Phoenix. I was going to see both on SmackDown in Phoenix. But since I'm going to Raw in Detroit, just SmackDown in Phoenix. But that's up in the air right now. So, because we need a van. So going Raw in March, can't wait for that. But you've been attacked by the review from Zach. See you later. Thank you again for watching. Bye-bye. And Happy New Year.